Rethinking AI hallucinations through revisiting Bayesian statistics. Aloha. AI hallucinations have been a major issue since the rise of generative models. One of the most sobering real-world consequences occurred when a New York lawyer relied on LLM-generated content that turned out to be fabricated. In the personal injury case Mata vs. Avianca Inc., an attorney filed a brief that included citations to multiple non-existent legal precedents. Actually, those examples were fabricated by ChatGPT. Unfortunately, the attorney didn't do any fact-checking. As a consequence, the court sanctioned the lawyers and their firm, stating that they had acted in bad faith by presenting fake citations. This high-profile misstep, among others, has driven a surge of research into both preventing such hallucinations and rebuilding trust in AI tools. In their paper Why Language Models Hallucinate, OpenAI researchers Kalai and colleagues argue that hallucinations, plausible but incorrect answers generated by large language models, arise not only during pre-training but also persist after post-training. Even though advanced methods like reinforcement learning from human feedback, RLHF, and reinforcement learning from AI feedback, RLAIF, are designed to reduce errors, these techniques cannot fully eliminate hallucinations. They help models avoid obvious pitfalls, such as repeating internet myths or producing conspiracy theories. Yet the authors point out a deeper problem. Most evaluation benchmarks still reward models for guessing rather than for honestly expressing uncertainty. In effect, if a model admits "I don't know," it is graded the same as if it gives a wrong answer, so the system learns to bluff with confident but incorrect statements. In other words, many LLMs are optimized to be good test takers. By guessing, you can get something rather than nothing. To address this misalignment, the paper suggests modifying benchmark design itself. Instead of strictly binary scoring, where answers are marked either correct or incorrect, evaluations could adopt explicit confidence thresholds. For example, it might state, "Only answer if you are at least 75% confident, otherwise, say I don't know." This would encourage models to calibrate their outputs, providing answers only when they have sufficient internal certainty. In this setup, models would no longer be penalized for withholding an answer in low-confidence cases, which could reduce the incentive to hallucinate and promote more trustworthy AI behavior. Interestingly, this proposal resonates with long-standing practices in statistics, including the confidence interval in frequentist statistics and the credible interval in Bayesian statistics. In frequentist statistics, a confidence interval quantifies the reliability of the estimate. A 95% confidence interval means that 95 out of 100 times the true and fixed parameter is within the lower and upper bounds. Importantly, the confidence interval is not a chance statement. It does not mean there is a 95% chance that the parameter itself lies within the interval. Instead, it means that if we repeated the sampling process infinitely many times, 95% of the intervals constructed this way would contain the true parameter. The parameter itself is not treated as random, it's fixed, and the randomness is in the data. So, the interval is about the procedure, not the specific parameter. By contrast, in Bayesian statistics, a credible interval directly represents a probability statement. Given the data and prior assumptions, there is a 95% probability that the parameter lies within the specified range. This Bayesian perspective, which explicitly models uncertainty as degrees of belief, is much closer to the confidence threshold approach for LLMs. Just as credible intervals help researchers communicate uncertainty transparently, confidence thresholds would allow language models to indicate when they are unsure rather than fabricating a definitive but wrong answer. In sum, hallucinations are not random quirks but predictable outcomes of how LLMs are trained and evaluated. While post-training methods like RLHF and RLAIF help, the real challenge lies in the evaluation incentives that favor confident guesses over calibrated uncertainty. Incorporating confidence thresholds into mainstream benchmarks could realign these incentives, nudging models toward more honest and reliable behavior. Perhaps it is time to bring Bayesian reasoning, where uncertainty is not a weakness but an explicit part of knowledge, into the core of AI development. What do you think? Could adopting a Bayesian mindset help us design more trustworthy AI systems? I'd love to hear your thought. Please leave your comments here. If you found this video informative, please share it on your social media. If you are an instructor, please feel free to include it into your course materials. Thank you for watching. Mahalo.